Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Play by Play. I am Nick. I don't have a title for this series yet, or even know if it's going to be a series, but this is going to be where I respond to other sports videos and give my input. Today, we're responding to a segment from Colin Cowherd's show, The Herd, where he talked about if NFL teams could draft cities, which cities would they draft? Which basically, if the owners, all 32 owners, could pick which market they wanted to be in, 1 through 32, which ones they would pick. And it was very interesting to see what he thought on the matter. So this is my response. This is what I think would be the choices. And also, I'm going to expand on it and say, this is a possible future for the NFL that I could see happening. Real quickly, I'm just going to run through the list of all his markets that he had on the list from 1 to 32. And then I'll get started with the video. So, 1 through 32, New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City again, Los Angeles again, Dallas, Philadelphia, Boston, Houston, San Francisco, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Phoenix, San Antonio, Austin, Minneapolis, Seattle, Denver, Miami, Toronto, London, Chicago again, Tampa Bay, Orlando, New York, New Jersey again, Las Vegas, Bay Area again, either San Jose or Oakland, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, St. Louis, Kansas City, Baltimore, and then he said, screw this, Cabo, Madrid. So to start off, we have our new AFC East with the Jets and the Patriots, of course, because both of those, you're not going to get rid of either of those teams. And then London and Dublin. See, I don't think, obviously he was kidding with Cabo and Madrid. I don't think Madrid would have a team after all. But I like where he's going with another one in Europe. I think it would be Dublin. The names I gave these teams, just for argument's sake, London Royals, sounds appropriate. Dublin Shamrocks, because I like that name from the Madden relocation feature, and also, seems appropriate. If you want a team in London, you want your team in London to have a travel partner. We have an England versus New England rivalry. We have a Irish and New England and Irish and New York versus Irish and Ireland rivalry. We have an England-Ireland rivalry. Awesome. AFC North, we have Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns, two historic franchises. And then we also have two new ones, Toronto and New Jersey. Not the best geographic fit, but it would work. It would make money. New Jersey, I gave them the name the Dons, New Jersey, Godfather, all that mob connection stuff. Cool stuff. They could play into that a little bit. I've always said I would be happy to own a football team in New Jersey. I would call it the Dons. Toronto Argonauts seems appropriate. That's the name of their CFL team. You might as well just move the CFL franchise into the NFL. AFC South, we have the Houston Texans, Miami Dolphins, Chicago Bengals, and Kansas City Chiefs. Basically, Kansas City won't work in the West Division anymore, and you'll see why in just a second. Miami didn't work in the East anymore, as you saw why, with Dublin and London coming in. And the Bengals, I couldn't think of a different team name for Chicago because I'm a loser and I'm uncreative. So I just moved Cincinnati Bengals to Chicago, and be a pretty good division. Houston, Miami, Chicago, Kansas City. Chicago and Kansas City would probably have the best rivalry in that sense. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of geographic symmetry, but what can you do? Next, the AFC West, which is one of my favorite divisions that I've created so far. We have the Denver Broncos, Oakland Raiders, Los Angeles Chargers, and Mexico City Diablos. Again, picking the name from the Madden relocation stuff with the Diablos there. I didn't obviously, again, he was kidding about Cabo, but I think he was onto something with Mexico. The NFL would want to go to Mexico. Mexico City makes a lot of sense. Passionate fans. They love sports. And the Raiders, he said San Jose, but I say Oakland. Oakland seems to be on the rise. Oakland has a terrible stadium, but they would have an actual place for the team to play. Oakland Raiders just feels right to stay in Oakland. It doesn't feel right to me anywhere else, as I've discussed before. And then the LA Chargers, which is probably going to happen anyway, would just be the second LA team in this scenario. It's really that simple. NFC East stays the same. New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Redskins, Philadelphia Eagles. All of those cities are super, super big markets, super, super historic teams. No need to change anything. He didn't, I won't. The NFC North, here's where some of the differences come in. We have Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, just like he said before. I picked Detroit Lions over Baltimore and St. Louis. I think Detroit is, even though it's on the decline, it's still a bigger market because you also have the whole tie-in with Michigan. It seems like they would be more likely to hold on to that team, which is much older, than they would be to hold on to a Baltimore team or a St. Louis that doesn't even have a team anymore. So that's my thought on that. And then Green Bay Packers are obviously going to stay around because the fans own the team and they will never move anywhere under any circumstances. So there will always be a team in Green Bay, and they will always be the weird outlier that's a small team that somehow still exists. In the NFC South, we have the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, representing two of his choices. Then we also have San Antonio Marshalls, another name I stole from Madden because I like it and this is my show and I can do what I want, and the Las Vegas team. For the sake of making the video simple, we'll call them the Las Vegas Outlaws after the failed XFL franchise. Still one of the funniest sports debacles in history. Vegas, San Antonio, you got a team. And then finally, the NFC West doesn't change at all from what it is right now. We have the Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks. Simple, keep it simple, stupid. Big markets, good teams, good rivalries. Why change it? So closing thoughts, obviously we would have a lot of teams from the current NFL that wouldn't exist anymore. Most notably, you think Buffalo, Cincinnati, Carolina, Jacksonville, not that anyone cares. Tennessee, I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head. I should have prepared for, the Ravens, that's right. Stupid me. But we would be gaining big markets in this. We'd be expanding internationally. We'd be going to bigger and better opportunities for the league to expand its brand. It would take some weird getting used to, and we would, since this is the far future that I'm imagining, we would have a lot of time to prepare for this. It wouldn't all be roses. I don't know if I would even like it right away, but it's the NFL, and we'd all keep coming back to it. Plus, could you imagine some of these rivalries? Could you imagine Toronto and Pittsburgh? Can you imagine Mexico City and Los Angeles, Mexico City and Oakland? Can you imagine London and Dublin? England and New England? It would be awesome. It would really be awesome. And I would be excited to see it someday down the road.